Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. It is Wednesday, first full day of the third quarter. Came in today, we weren't sure what to expect. You had tech up a little bit after having some weakness in the past week or two. Lots of times we've had this little misdirection day move in tech, so not a lot of people trust it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. The S&P was down. They tried to pressure it down in the first half an hour, but there was no traction. Then it reclaimed Tuesday's low. So each day we try to figure out how to base your tactical action. Sometimes when things open up, we try and figure out, does it hold the momentum level and continue? Sometimes when they open lower after a few sessions lower, can it stay below a prior low, or does it get reclaimed for some type of cover your short or bounce type trade? And then obviously I have single stock type of strategies each and every day, which I go over in the full version of the morning call and my note. If you look here at the chart of the S&P cash, all in all, it's still hanging in there. You had this big support right here that had flashed below briefly last week, but held a 50-day. On Tuesday you had a sell into resistance, okay, right there, and then today they bought it into support. So buy low, sell high. It's that easy. Or short, high, cover lower. But anyway, this is the pattern, still intact. You could say today we got back above the 21 day, but it's really not that meaningful to the fact that we've been up and below it for a while, where it's not like a trend where you were above the 21 day this entire time, or for the last 7 months. But anyway, you have to be neutral here. You can't be so bearish on the S&P after taking this back, and you can't be all in bullish considering some of the other action that we're seeing. But for now, I would think neutral to positive. On Tuesday, neutral to negative, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. So that's the S&P cash. The Qs talked about the prior day low. Okay, the prior day low didn't even, I guess, get a push below it. Okay, it opened above it, and sellers came in and tried to bring a few things negative, and they really couldn't, so it popped. You did see the same type of trade here before a big down move. So if you're in some tech names, I'm actually in a few things. You know what? Just be in some. Just know that a day like this doesn't mean tech's back. That the momentum trend was broken here. Then you had this opening reversal right here, and then you had 2 down days. Here was your little small red dog reversal. Each day giving you individual type of action. Then it trapped a lot of traders here by people trying to think that the 50-day was going to hold, and pretty much did not. And then now you have this, I guess, the 8-day controlling it. So if it wanted to be up a little bit tomorrow, it could, but we shall see. At this point, it's still weaker. Tech is hard to trust. Most names are broken, and when tech names break, you have to be careful. What do I mean by tech names breaking? I mean when a momentum name that everyone says is overvalued is in a strong trend above the 21 day, it doesn't matter if it has a high PE. But when sentiment changes and it closes below the 21 day, or every gap up gets sold, then it's different. And Tesla changed a week or so ago, and I'll show you when, and we flagged it. Why did it change? Well, here, okay, this was an opening reversal. Not really an opening reversal, but it opened up and didn't have a great close. That was like one little signal. Okay, be a little careful. Maybe the 8-day that it's been above since right here and acting well since clearing this prior high, it could change a little bit. If you went out long it still, then I remember that day you had a little bit of time to get out of the way once it went below, or get short below 373. Then what did it do? It hovered below it. Okay, the bulls were never able to reclaim that, showing weakness. And even on Tuesday, it gapped up, $8, and they sold it. Went from green to red. That means the technicals have changed. Here, they were buying down opens and ignoring bad news, and here, now they don't like good news, they're selling it, and then a downgrade could do that to you. It did pause for a second. You go across here, okay, it paused near the 50-day. I actually bought it for a trade, and believe it or not, I'm not tooting my horn, I made $3 on it. I had a bid in at 339, it bounced to 341, but then after a little bit of time, boom, broke and closed on the lows. So now at this point, what do I think is next? Whatever I say here is a guess. The momentum trend has changed. We had a nice momentum trend here when it broke above this spot. Nice momentum trend when it broke above this spot and then got above this spot. And now, we'll see where it comes. It could, I'm not saying it's going to hit the 200-day, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, if it opens lower, maybe it reclaims today's low tomorrow, which is 327. If it opens higher, maybe people will short it to go red. At this point, it's not a hold and a sit like it was for the majority of the year. Okay, if you guys remember, in the Redler report, I put a 300 price target, and it went a lot further than that. But what really confirmed it was when it broke above this descending channel, and it was above the 8-day this entire time until this outside reversal right there. And then it even repaired and went again. So now we'll see what happens next. It's going to have to do a lot of repair work before traders can trust us again. In other tech, that was the weakest one today. Amazon, Google had a little bit of a bounce. They're not so compelling. The strongest high beta tech name, I think, is Baba. I actually came in flat and I bought it this morning, I think somewhere, around 142. And I wanted to see if it can get above and stay above this little pivot area. And it did, and it closed well. So if you're in something long for momentum, this to me is in the game to make a move back towards highs. If anything could go back towards highs. If tech opens lower and today was a trap, I doubt it's going to happen. But if tech opens up and there's a little follow through, this to me is above the 21-day, and there's not a lot of stocks that held the 21-day, so it's still best in breed, the strongest. Sina, what did it do today? Not a whole heck of a lot. WB, what did it do today? Not a whole heck of a lot. So really, it's hard to trust one stock in a sector. So that's why on this trade today, I'm not, I'm not saying I'm not all in. I'm just in it. It's not coming back up right now. And then let's take a look at NVIDIA. That was kind of strong today. NVIDIA had some news, okay, and had a little inside day. I remember I took NVIDIA home here on this Red Dog reversal, okay, thinking that, hey, maybe this is a little bit of a low, we could gap up, and then the next day got engulfed hard. Okay, so that's why even though today was up $4, still below the 21 day. So after this gap up, it was above it for quite some time until finally it showed you this weakness. I remember this, in the note we talked about, I remember it was like a Friday and it was really weak while the market was strong, and then the next day when the market opened up, it was the first thing to go red, take this out, and that's when it changed. Ever since then, it's been a sell. And now, today, if you're in it, okay, maybe there's a retest here. It just, you can't be in it as much as when it was trading above the moving averages because it's vulnerable. AMD, kind of, I guess, trades with NVIDIA lately, had a much stronger day. I'm actually in AMD just for an extra trade. It closed near the highs. Took out this little 2-day pivot, so I'm thinking a little bit of follow through. That's if tech's not a trap tomorrow. So, you say you need to have a reason to be in something. My reason is it closed in the highs. It was more powerful than these 2 days, so it's in the game for a little bit higher prices. Let me just show you Amazon. That's actually above the 50-day. Amazon was stronger today. It was gapped up. It was holding most of the day and, closed relatively decent, okay, where you have a 2-day pivot. Question is, can it get above it and stay above it and repair a little bit? Stock had an outside day here. I remember trying to play it here, and it basically reversed. That got me out, and this just didn't get me back in. Last time I tried it on this day, I think I got blasted the day after, so I'm just kind of staying away because I needed to prove that it's worthy. It did take back the 50-day, but I'm just, I didn't want to have that much exposure. I did come in long Bank of America and Goldman, and I'm still long Bank of America and Goldman. Bank of America looks good to me. It seems as if Bank of America is going to be taking out this spot at some particular point, so I'm trying to stay in it and trade around it. Goldman, looks very tight, okay? Looks like it could take this out. I was planning for that to do today, but tomorrow, right? This is very tight, nice hold here above the 8-day, and now it seems as if the banks have another day, there could be some catch-up here in Goldman Sachs. It's a laggard, but I think it has the tightest setup that can give you a tradable push. I was also in the IWM, which I'm not in anymore, but if you're in it still, it looks okay. It held where it had to. Quickly, IWM, you look here. They're not making it easy. You came in today, it was down $1 and looked very weak all day, then came back up. It's still, held where it had to, and it seems as if this channel can break to the upside if the market wants a leader. Just doesn't want to do it to make it easy for you. IBBs was a little easier. I did come in long the IBB, and I'm still long it. Why am I still long it? Because it did not break the lower end of this bull flag, which could be a continuation pattern to this, big breakout. Question is, can it? So at this point, I'm still long it, and we'll see if it can work its way back towards that 323 high. This could be a day one. Last time, if you thought it was here and you got engulfed fast, but now it's a few days later, so maybe this time it's gonna do a little bit better. So, just so in conclusion, there are definitely things to do, both long and short. You can't have too much conviction, I think, on the long side. Same way on the short side, you have to be very specific on pricing. We talked about, can the XLE break out of this descending channel? Can it reclaim the 50-day, which it looked like it could, but it hasn't done it, and hasn't done it for all of 2017. So if you took home the XLE thinking, hey, I want to be in this, it looks like it's going to gap above the 50-day, I don't want to miss it, you got hit in the head today. And you had some time to get out of it with a small loss, but basically this engulfed the entire day, okay, which I hate to see. I hate to see a stock close or a sector on the highs of the day and then the next day gap down and engulf it, because I know traders are trapped there. I actually thought about taking it long too, thinking I want to cheat a little bit, be in this for what could be better action. It's the third quarter. Maybe they didn't want to hold it into the end of the quarter. Now they do. Well, this point looks very similar to what it's looked like all year. I guess if it wants to hold here tomorrow, maybe it looks a little bit better. But all in all, today's action, the actually kind of, not fun if you trade trying to, be ahead of a potential move. But, I think a lot of people were skeptical anyway because this whole year it's been trapped. So the trend is your friend until it's not. You don't want to milk a trend, but you also don't want to fight it. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if there's any upside follow through to tech's positive action today, or was it a trap? We'll see if some of the trades continue. The banks were still looking good. Hopefully that continues. IWM held where it had to. The IBB gave you some, some upside if you took it, and you could have made some money there. And then the S&P is still hanging in the upper end. So we'll see how things play out the next few days, and then earnings season will start. If you're not seeing it because of all the divergences, do less, cash as a position. You'll have more clarity at some particular point. Have a good night.